Hello, adventurers! Are you ready for an exciting mission? Today, we are going to explore the amazing world of worms. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Worms are just wiggly, slimy creatures that live in the dirt. But what if I told you they are actually tiny superheroes? That's right. These wriggly wonders have a very important job. They are nature's best recyclers. They take all the leftover bits from our food, like apple cores and banana peels, and they turn them into something magical for our gardens. It's a brilliant way to help our planet. Worms are incredible because they eat our food scraps and turn them into super rich soil. This special soil is called compost, or sometimes black gold. Can you guess why? It's because it's so valuable for helping plants grow big and strong. Instead of throwing our leftovers in the bin, where they just go to a big landfill, we can give them to our worm friends. They will munch and crunch everything up, leaving behind a wonderful, earthy-smelling gift. It's like having a team of tiny gardeners working for you day and night, quietly making the world a better place. Getting to know these amazing creatures is a fantastic adventure. You can watch them up close and see how they work. It's like having your very own mini ecosystem right in your home or classroom. You will learn so much about nature, recycling, and how everything in our world is connected. Plus, having a worm bin is a great responsibility. You get to be the caretaker of these little heroes, making sure they are happy and have plenty of yummy food to eat. It's a fun way to become a scientist and an eco-warrior all at once. So, are you ready to become a worm champion? Let's get our hands a little bit dirty and discover the secrets of these fantastic creatures. By the end of our journey, you will see that worms are not just slimy things in the ground. They are powerful, important, and honestly, quite cool. They teach us that even the smallest creatures can make a massive difference for our beautiful planet. Let's get started on our worm composting adventure and build them a new home where they can do their amazing recycling work. First things first, our wriggly superheroes need a place to live. We are going to build them a super cool home called a worm bin, or as I like to call it, a worm hotel. You can buy a special bin, or you can make one yourself with a grown-up's help using a plastic container with a lid. The most important thing is that the bin needs to have small holes in it. We need some holes in the bottom for any extra water to drain out, and some holes on the sides or the lid to let fresh air in for the worms to breathe. Worms need air, just like we do. Next, we need to make their beds. Worms love a soft, damp, and cozy place to wriggle around in. We can create this by shredding up old newspapers or plain cardboard into thin strips. Avoid any of the shiny, glossy paper from magazines. Once you have a big pile of shredded paper, you need to soak it in some water. Then squeeze out all the extra water so it feels like a damp sponge. Fluff up the damp paper strips and fill your worm bin about 3/4 full with this bedding. This will be their cozy home and also part of their food. Now for a very important ingredient, we need to add a little bit of soil or dirt from outside. This isn't just to make them feel at home. The soil contains tiny little gritty bits and helpful microbes. These tiny bits help the worms to grind up their food in their tummies, a bit like how birds use grit. The microbes are tiny living things, too small to see, that help the composting process get started. Just a few handfuls of soil mixed into the damp paper bedding will do the trick. It makes the worm hotel feel just right. Finally, it's time to welcome the guests of honor. You can't just dig up any old worms from the garden. The best worms for a worm bin are called red wigglers. They are the champions of composting. You can order them from a special farm or a garden supply shop. When they arrive, gently place them on top of the bedding in their new home. They might wiggle on the surface for a little while, but soon they will burrow down into the cozy darkness. Let them settle in for a day before you give them their first meal. Your worm hotel is now open for business. Now that our worms are all settled into their new hotel, it's time to think about food. Feeding your worms is super easy and fun, but it's important to know what they like to eat. Think of them as tiny vegetarians. They absolutely love munching on fruit and vegetable scraps from the kitchen. Things like apple cores, potato peelings, carrot tops, and leftover lettuce are perfect for them. They also enjoy coffee grounds and use tea bags. Just make sure the tea bags are plastic-free. Crushed eggshells are a fantastic treat for them too, as they add calcium to keep the bin healthy. To feed your worms, You just need to pull back a small section of their bedding and bury the food scraps underneath. This helps to keep any smells away and stops little fruit flies from visiting. It's a good idea to feed them in a different spot each time you add food. This encourages the worms to wriggle all around their bin, which helps to mix everything up nicely. Don't give them too much food at once. A good rule is to wait until they have eaten most of their last meal before you add more. This keeps the bin from getting too smelly or soggy. Just like us, there are some foods that worms really don't like or that are bad for them. It's very important not to put any meat, fish, or dairy products like cheese and milk into the bin. These foods can make the bin smell really bad and attract unwanted pests. You should also avoid oily or greasy foods, as well as salty snacks. Onions and citrus fruits like oranges and lemons are very acidic and can be a bit too strong for the worms, so it's best to only add very small amounts of these, if any at all. Keeping a happy worm bin is all about balance. The key is to give them the right foods and not too much at one time. Every week you can have a little peek inside to see how they are doing. Are they wriggling around? Are they eating the food? It's a wonderful science experiment where you get to observe and learn. You are the head chef for your Wriggly recycling team, and by giving them a healthy diet, you are helping them do their amazing work of turning your leftovers into something wonderful for the garden. So what happens to all those food scraps after the worms have had their feast? This is where the real magic happens. As the worms munch and wriggle through their bedding and the food, they digest it all. What comes out the other end is an amazing, dark, crumbly material. This is the worm compost, also known as worm castings or vermicompost. It doesn't smell bad at all. In fact, it has a lovely, rich, earthy smell, just like the soil in a healthy forest. Our Wriggly superheroes have turned our kitchen waste into treasure. This worm compost is one of the best things you can give to your plants. It's packed full of nutrients, which are like vitamins for plants. When you mix this compost into the soil in your garden or in your potted plants, it helps them grow bigger, stronger, and healthier. The food that the plants produce, like tomatoes or strawberries, will be extra juicy and delicious. This is because the worms have done all the hard work of breaking down the nutrients, making it super easy for the plant roots to soak them all up. It's a brilliant cycle of nature happening right in your home. After a few months, you will notice your worm bin is getting full of this dark, wonderful compost. That means it's time to harvest it. There are a few fun ways to do this. One way is to gently move all the contents of the bin to one side and add fresh, damp bedding to the empty side. Then only put new food in the fresh bedding. The worms will slowly migrate over to the new side, leaving behind their finished compost for you to scoop out and use. It's a gentle way to collect the treasure without disturbing your worms too much. By creating your own worm compost, you are doing something amazing for our planet. You are reducing the amount of rubbish that goes to landfills, which helps to fight climate change. You are also creating a natural, chemical-free fertilizer for your garden, which is much better for the environment than store-bought ones. You have become an official eco-hero. So keep observing your worms, feeding them well, and watching them work their magic. You are not just recycling, you are helping to make the world a greener, healthier, and happier place, one Wriggly worm at a time.